So I'm here with the man Eamon, right? Eamon, bro, you basically went from never being in a closing role in your life to collecting 20K cash in your first week. Why don't you run us through, before we dive into that, bro, why don't you run us through yourself, who you are, where you're from, and a bit about your journey, bro?
Yeah, so I'm Eamon, 20-year-old lad just from Cookstown, up in the north of Ireland. And yeah, I was just normal lad, school, everything like that. Done my A levels, then took a gap year after that, not really knowing what the fuck to actually do with myself. I then started, I was working in a warehouse, I was working in a gym, I got my PT qualification, stuff like that. And I'd also got started working in a bar as well. But it was all sort of the same shit. It was like, right, when do I actually start doing something? Do I get a trade? Do I go to uni? But for me, I sort of knew that if I got a trade, my back was going to be broke at 40 and 50. The cost of living's mad. It wasn't going to work out. The same way with uni. If I went to uni, I know rightly I would just piss 4 years down the wall. So for me, I seen this lad Conrad on my Instagram story driving about in this M4, leaving his parents' house, and I was just like, you know what, that's a bit of me. I need to do that. It was very relatable, so dived in with that.
So
Then
before we even get into seeing me online, right, and kind of like seeing the my path and the journey I took, you took a gap year from uni, first of all. What was it you were doing in uni in the first place?
no, 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 I wasn't even in uni. I just took a big gap year after school, like just
Ah,
didn't do
right.
anything, just did jobs and stuff like that. Like, but
So warehouse and bar work, man, you were busy. You PT in the gym as well, doing your working in the gym, getting your PT certificate, right? So for you, was it a matter of you just had no clue what you wanted to do, so you're just kind of dabbling in all these different things?
yeah, like I thought I wanted to go down the PT route and stuff like that, but just bigger goals, bigger things to do. Like I want to be able to, retire parents, for example, and like live fully remotely. Like here I'm in Marbella now, yes, it's only the start of it, but I can see a big future here for myself. And I know rightly, like, yes, maybe I could do that PTing, but do I really want to do that while I'm 40? Why not do it at 20 years old?
I get you, man. So for you then, right? First of all, the PT, like you talked about, could be a short-term gig. Since you were doing the warehousing, the bar work, PT, and all these different things, right? Taking this gap year, right, to kind of figure out what you wanted to do. What was it then that made you want to go down, I guess, like the online space sort of route then, like something completely different to what you were doing? And I mean, like, completely different to what anybody in Cookstown, anybody in Tyrone's doing.
Yeah, I don't know what it exactly was. It was just, you're on your phone all the time. These reels are coming up, these TikToks of all these boys doing it your own age. I'm seeing American lads doing it and they're younger than me. And then I'm
Mhm.
seeing people like maybe yourself, some other lads across Ireland. And as soon as I seen a few boys over there doing it, that's when I really started biting the bullet and going in. Got into a different mentorship before I went forward with you guys and stuff like that as well. But yeah, man, I think it was just always seeing other people doing it, and I was thinking like, why am I any different? Only difference between me and them is that they've started sooner. It's possible. Like,
You see, when you talk about, you see these guys that are American and you see these guys all online, like, what was it though that actually pushed you to want to join a mentorship and to maybe learn the skill, like, even though nobody was like around you was doing it?
I think it was honestly looking at people and seeing them the way that Irish culture is, for example, and they're all stuck in their ways. Seeing this constant cycle. See, working in a bar was actually a big thing for it because you
Right?
would see the same people coming in, week out, and it'd be like, oh, this Christmas rip's done. I'm gonna start lock in new year, new me, all this pure bullshit. And then they'd be back in the bar the next weekend and stuff. And then that's when it sort of started clicking for me. I was like, right, these boys talk the talk, but no one ever does it. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like there's no reason why I can't actually do this. And then, you know, seeing different things, people posting, your mom's still working a job and all this. And I was like, yeah, fuck. Like I need to get my shit sorted.
That's mad for you because you're in the bar, obviously sober, and then you're seeing maybe guys coming in from their job, maybe guys coming in from after work or different things, and they're talking all this big game then about how they want to change. So for you, seeing that firsthand was a massive eye opener. I'd say that would have been motivating, all right, when you're constantly see these guys talking about what they're going to achieve, what they're going to do, and then what they're still in the bar the same week. and then nothing's really going on.
Yeah, it fries my head. Still, I know rightly, if I went back, it'd be the same people sitting at the same bar stools as well. It's probably the you have to go to the bar sober. Maybe it was the only time I was ever in a bar sober, to be honest. Like, but you see them the same shit every day, like same every week.
So you said that then you say these guys in the bar, that was kind of the motivation for you to want to start something, right? Talk me through your journey, lad. Like when you first started in the mentorship you were in, like what was kind of going through your head at the time and like your experience there?
Yeah, so joined a different mentorship a good few months back now. As I said, didn't really have a clue what I was actually supposed to be doing, or anything like that. So I obviously got given like a coach, coaching calls, all that there sort of stuff. And yes, it was good. Like I learned a lot. Like I'm so glad I done it. It's priceless to me because of the personal development you gain from it.
Hmm.
Like I have myself planning my day out daily. That's something I would never been doing this time last year. Like not a hope. But for me, it was struggling to land roles with it. That was the problem with the first one was there was no real fulfillment side of things with it in terms of like actually placing me on a role. So that was all good. I was on a closing role just before I'm on the one I was on now. I was on a couple of different like appointment setting roles and stuff before that as well, but was nothing really like that I could really, bite into almost. It was all this like sort of shitty wee roles here and there. So seeing you guys and then popped on with Trinity.
So basically, bro, you got the training, you got the mentorship, training, and everything was good, right? But you landed roles with it. But talk me through the roles, lad. Were you just not being able to maybe make the money you wanted to grow, like to get the experience? Like what was going on with the roles then?
Yeah, well look, I was appointment setting, so just texting on Instagram and it was good, like, but I was still working in the bar at the time, and so it was like a Tuesday night. I'm thinking, you know what, I can blast out DMs all night here. This is grand. And then, four men walking on a Tuesday night looking at a pint of Carlsberg. All of a sudden, you're dishing out this way, trying to reply to your man and all this handling. So that didn't go well. And I decided, that I needed to get out of my job before even trying to do that, or maybe even finding better times in the day, maybe even a different role, something like that. The first sort of bigger one then was an ecom offer, was a 3K ecom offer that was going pretty well, but I feel like the manager behind me didn't really get it. Like it was this, I was the first Irish person on it and stuff like this, and it was just all these different Americans and stuff, and I feel like I wasn't probably treated the right way. But then ever since I got out of that, got onto the one now through you guys, it's been a completely different story. Like,
See, you talk about, lad, that you were on these different roles, right? Were these all roles that pretty much there wasn't Irish people on? Like there were different time zones, like there were kind of different nationalities. Is that what you were struggling with?
yeah, so like American time zones, stuff like that. Like it was just overwhelming when you have, you're working a gym shift and then you're in the bar straight after and you're trying to get out of your job and then you're working these American hours and they're already like 7 hours behind you and stuff. It's just a
Mhm.
bit crazy at the start, like, you
Yeah,
do need to have the right people behind you.
I get you. So then you took the jump, right? And you said to join Trinity. Run me through that, lad. Like what exactly was it then that made you want to make the switch and, join Trinity itself?
Well, like talking the street was just the fact that like these boys are getting roles, they're being treated well, there's all these Irish boys in this big community of people, it's this high testosterone shit going on. I was like, get me a part of that now.
So do you feel like it was the fact that you were able to then train, learn skills, maybe even get placed on roles with actual Irish people, opposed to it being American and Australian and maybe people you didn't know?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And then as well as that, even when it comes to learning, your coach is Irish, you're actually understanding them because, you're learning from an American, they're going to talk different slangs, different ways of communication. Whereas like I have an Irish coach, he can dumb it down for me so easily. And the same way with when it comes to even practicing as well. I can practice my stuff with different Irish boys that are in the community as well. They all get it. They're all relatable. They're all like-minded. They all want the same thing. So it just pushes you on.
I get you. Because when you talk about like being surrounded with these Irish guys, you learn from a coach, right? From the Irish coach, top G myself, right? But when you talk about you're surrounded with those like-minded Irish boys, do you feel like you didn't really, well, for example, lad, like your friend group at the time before coming into this, doing something online like this, what would their whole mindset be around like the online stuff?
Like pyramid scheme, scams, fucking what are you at, you mad bastard, all this here stuff. But
Hmm.
you
Right.
know,
I get you. And it's like, no matter, even though you know in your head, right, I can do really well with this, I can learn a skill. This is like going to give me everything I want, work remotely. When you constantly have that negativity in your ear, even though you don't believe it, it does seep in. And it's a big thing in Ireland because everybody's just so stuck in their ways. Like, work, if you're not working, you're soft, right? Then you learn something online, learn a skill. Well, you're in Marbella scam. No, no, but I'm gonna sit my 9 to 5 every single day, for £16 an hour. Hopefully I get the bank holiday off, but that's sound, right? But
yeah.
what was it like for you then? Obviously going from maybe that kind of toxic mindset with your mates, then being surrounded with guys that actually do this full time that were pushing you on.
Oh, crazy. Like you want to be like left a job and all that, but you were always coming home from work excited to be in this bubble. Like it was almost this bubble in your room that you have, and it's just you go in here and you just feel this different energy almost, where you just know that these boys all want the exact same thing. They're all sick of the 9 to 5. They're sick of maybe some toxic friends and friend groups or whatever it may be.
Mhm.
But that was the biggest thing for me was just product your environment, 110%. Like,
So you joined Trinity back in, it was the end of September, right? Talk us through your journey, bro. Like, what was it like joining up? What was your journey like through it? The training, everything else. Like, run us through that.
yeah, so end of September in coaching calls multiple times a week, or just on them every single time, and just learning every time, asking as many questions as possible to yourself. Um, Then obviously on the mindset ones as well, like that's a really big one as well. It gives you that spur on for the weekend, and it just makes you realize that like a lot of these people are maybe having the same struggles as you when it comes to learning a new skill, or maybe they're having even better wins than you. Either way, it's all pushing each other on. But then yeah, just the momentum, even like the group we have of the wins, of everyone posting in their wins when they have a good day, when stuff is going well, have landed a new role, whatever it may be. Like that's all stuff that's just spurs you on as well. I just feel like from then on, obviously with the job opportunities as well, just being placed on the role I'm on now, like fucking, I'll forever be grateful for it. Like like that's the biggest thing I've had so far.
Because one of the biggest problems you had before, right, was obviously you were landing roles, but the sales manager didn't get it. There were different time zones. You struggled with your job. So coming into Trinity, right? Obviously, you said you're learning from Irish people now. You're surrounded with Irish guys doing this. They're posting their wins, what they're making in a week as a closer, them landing new roles. One of the biggest obstacles you said you had was landing actually a good role, right? A good role where the time zone suited you. Obviously, you came into Trinity. Run us through then the role you're on now and how you actually managed to get that.
Yeah, so got landed it through Trinity, obviously from yourself and Jared, and it was good role, like real good expectations for it. Um, I'm expected to collect 100K here in January, which is massive. That's my first goal now for the new year is just to smash 10K months.
Beautiful,
And
right? Beautiful. So you came in, landed the role through us, through our agency side, right? What nationality is the client you're working for?
all Irish, lethal.
Irish, right? What part of Ireland is he from?
Hmm?
What part of Ireland is he from?
Oh, they're all in the north.
So now, like, you obviously went from American, Australian, whatnot. Now you're actually working and closing for guys that are from the same place as you. Now, talk us through the offer you're on and that you got through Trinity and our network. Run us through the offer, what it is, the ticket price. Run us through that.
Yeah, so it's called The Software Founder by Jason McElcar, lad from Donegal. Basically allowing people to build software brands. Software is massive, obviously AI, things like that, but it's neither here nor there. It's few different packages and stuff like that. So you can either go 3K, 5K, 8K, depending on what you actually need to, see the most success, what they feel like you need as well. And then from there, you maybe could be taking 5 to 10 calls a day. You every single chance you're on a call, you have a chance to make money, a chance to change someone's life, a chance to actually help someone, put them on the same path that I was on, you know?
So beautiful. So now like you're on 10% commission then for every you close.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you get, the opportunity, your own calls, because it's not just like you want to sell this fucking, let me just sell this cunt. You're generally on calls now with people who are and help them build, software brands and whatnot and helping them, change their life the same way you have. Obviously, you went from working all these different jobs, lad, in the bar, in the gym, right? All these different things to now being a full-time closer. Now you have the opportunity to jump on with guys and actually help them. Maybe they're in a similar, they're 9 to 5, build software brands online, get good results with that as well. While you also collect good money as well.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Like even one of the lads there in the software there recently, he had his first 40K a month in profits. Like that's crazy as well. So he keeps it up. He's on for a massive, massive year, 500K. You know,
So you mentioned earlier on, lad, right? You're 20 years of age now. What part of the world are you in?
now I'm on Marbs lads,
You're in
Marbella.
Marbella, right? You're 20 years of age, you're in Marbella, full-time closing role, right?
Hmm.
When you first got started with this, right? Like, talk me through the maybe like you 6 months ago to now, right? Was this a position you could have seen yourself in?
It 100% was the position I could see myself in. Like that's where exactly I had it written down. I want to be traveling. I want to be out of my parents' house. I want to do all this crazy stuff. But there's always that thing in your head too at the start because you don't have the skill yet to say that like, is that really going to happen though? And all these big things like, can I do that though? And stuff like that. But it's the belief you have to have. I think it's surrounding yourself with those like-minded people.
Mm,
Having a coach there who's actually walked the plank, knows the do's and don'ts, puts you in the right direction, and then
yeah.
obviously having a place where you actually can be placed on good roles and be taken care of. It's massive. It's massive. Like,
You see, bro, when you talk about like 6 months ago, I always knew I would be here. I always knew I'd be in this position. I'd be in Marbella. I'd be a full-time closer, right? Be earning, thousands a week. What was it for you? Because like for a lot of guys, especially for you, I'm sure as well, 6 months ago when you're in the gym, when you're fucking doing all these like in the warehouse as well, in the bar, trying to tackle all these different things. Like for a lot of people, envision yourself in 6 months being in Marbella, being a full-time closer, collecting thousands every week is very like out of reach. It's very like for some people, it's like never like that there is unheard of. What was it for you though that kept you motivated and all what you like what made you think that I know I can do this even 6 months ago?
for me, to be honest, it was always seeing these guys, and I don't know if it's just my mindset being a wee bit different. I'm not sure, but just knowing that if they can do it, I can do it. They're the only reason they're maybe got 10K followers on Instagram. The only reason they're making hundreds of thousands a year is because they started before me. That was always my mindset. And another thing was the fact that you know it needed to be something external. It can't just all be about yourself. So for me, big thing was retiring parents, stuff like that as well. And another big thing for me was your content. Like you were able to do it. I seen you, as I mentioned earlier, the M4, things like that, moving out of your parents' house. We went to Belfast, started going to Dubai, Vietnam, all these fucking places. I was like, right, if this prick from fucking Kalishal can do it, there's no way I'm not doing this. Like.
You see, and that's the thing, man. It's like if one person has achieved the thing that you want, then like what more do you need? It's like a lot of guys they fall into this trap of what's he gonna say or am I smart enough to do this? I've only known the trades, right? And it could have been very easy. You'd fall into this path. Like, I work in a gym, I work in the warehouse. I don't know like if I can do this. And I feel like for a lot of guys, they fall into the mindset of I got this job when I was 16 in the trades. I'm 26, 27 now. I've been doing this 10, 12 years. Like I was never smart in school. How can I go on and do something like this? Did you ever have that mindset, or do you ever have that limiting belief in yourself? Like, fuck, what if it doesn't work out? What if I'm not smart enough to do something like this?
Yeah, like I'll be honest, fucking even starting out for your first while, it can feel like a new language or anything like that. But you like I don't know. I always grew up not the smartest, not the best, not the sharpest tool in the box. I would say probably,
Yeah.
but there's no reason why I couldn't do it. Like, and I think that there's no perfect time. There's no perfect thing. There's no such thing as this perfect thing. I think you create it through just doing it and doing it.
Let's say, lad, that you were maybe going back at the start, right? And you kind of had that fearful mindset of, what if it doesn't work out? What if I'm not smart to do it? What would your, I guess, like, what advice would you have for someone who's maybe in that sort of mindset?
Like maybe I'm not smart enough to do it and stuff like that. I would say if they just think of it logically, what else are they going to do? You want to stick out another 5 years in this job that you don't like already? Yeah, comparing yourself to the lad who's making £100 extra and chase that for another few years, knowing that that's not the life you actually want. It's like take the leap because I believe, you know what, maybe in between 20 and 25, if you lost everything, you're not going to go homeless. There's actually no responsibility. So why not take the leap? Because, you get to 35 and stuff, people start to get married, you have houses, you have kids, the risk becomes so much bigger. So, I mean, there's no excuse for anybody, I think.
See, the thing with it is, right? It's the fear of looking stupid, I feel like holds so many people back. It's like, what if I do this, right? And I tell people, or I'm gonna learn something new. What if I look stupid trying to do something completely different, right? When you came into this, you were learning something brand new you've never done before. What do you feel like goes wrong? Like, what do you feel like can go wrong starting something like this? Let's say you get the training and everything you've gotten through Trinity, right? Where do you feel like it goes wrong?
I mean, if people start to know you're doing it, if you start to tell people you're doing it, you might have people calling you mad. Like, that can get to you and stuff like that. But if you know strongly in your head that you're looking to do something for maybe yourself, your family, something like that, you can't let someone stop you. I don't think that anything can possibly go wrong. You're trying your best, you're giving it a shot. I don't understand why anything could possibly go wrong if you put your head down. For me it was I didn't have all this time in the world, so I was like, fuck, how am I gonna get the time to do this? Balance between maybe an early gym shift and then a late bar shift. Maybe having these wee stupid times during the day, trying to find people to practice with and stuff could have been awkward. So I was basically putting in like maybe 1 hour, 2 hours max, maybe even an extra few at the weekend and stuff like that. And from there, you just build from there and build from there. And then eventually, just boom, everything just changes like that. And when people say it can change overnight, it definitely can. But no one ever sees the reps that you're doing, with those 1 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you're doing.
You see, like when, let's say, for example, you were really fearful of trying something new, right? What's scarier in your opinion, now when you started this? Was it actually taking the initial start, right? Or was it when you did finally start doing the training? What was actually scarier?
Starting was scary. It was a scary bit because something's about life's about to change pretty much. You know that shit's about to go down.
I have to now do the work. All the talking I've
Yeah,
been doing, I now have to do it.
yeah, it's like shit's gonna go down. It's like I don't know if you ever boxed or anything like that, but it's like you do all this training, you're feeling like this motivated stuff. Maybe you watch Rocky or Creed on the TV, you're feeling like to the ring, all of a sudden you've got fucking jelly legs.
So for you then, right? Actually taking the initial jump was scarier. So once you finally took the jump and you're in, right? Was it as scary then when like you're in and now you've got access to the training, to myself, to the mentors, your accountability coach, all the lads that are full-time closers? Was it scary then?
No, no way. It was complete black and white. Like it's completely different. I think that whenever you start to see people who've just started as well. Now we got the same things. There's like, oh lad, where are you from? He's like, oh fuck, I'm from Armagh. I'm like, fucking hell, this is mad. All doing the same shit, whatever it may be. And it's like it becomes very easy very quickly because you start realizing that the people you're doing this with aren't like those people on site or aren't like those friend groups that you have. They're all wanting something different. So that
Mhm.
just completely disappears and all you want to focus on is growth.
That's the thing. It's like it's more mindset than anything because it's like I've talked about how I want to get out of my job. I've talked about how this isn't for me anymore. I want to work remotely. Then it's like, okay, now once I join this, I have to do it, right? Because it's like now you have to do the work. Now you actually have to put your money where your mouth is, right? And actually put in the reps and do everything that you talked about. But it's like you don't learn how to swim by reading about water, right? You have to jump into the pool. Once you're in, once you're maybe you've got your armbands on, whatever it isn't that scary. You hold on to your float, right? Take it one day at a time. And it's the same thing with this. It's like once you start, everything's built out for you as a beginner. It's baby steps. You start. Someone there has just started with you. You're looking at guys that are full-time closers. You can see the end result. Like that's the motivation to actually keep you going. But for you, lad, you landed a role through us, right? multiple different packages, right? Your first week, lad, run us through your first week. How did that go?
First week, collected like 20K. Like, it was fucking mad to be honest. It was
One more
jumping
time.
around.
How much did you collect your first week?
20 G's.
20 G's closed. Cash, right? Your very first week, bro. On an offer we placed you on, right? Talk me through that. Like, how are you feeling after that?
Oh man. I was telling my ma, she was fucking buzzing and all, because she was like skeptical at the start and all, and I was like, fuck me. And they always will be. This Irish mum's like,
Yeah.
what's this? What are you at? All this crazy stuff as well. That's another thing is don't listen to your friggin' parents and just do it. But no, that was crazy. Like that's when I knew someone just switched in. I was like, right, now it's possible. Now I need to do this again. Just do it again. Just do it again. And eventually, I'll be in Marbs. Maybe next is Dubai. Everything comes from there. I think.
Talk me through that feeling though, lad. Because you had some hardship on different roles, right? You had some hardship before. You came into Trinity, you got a role through us. Your first week, you closed 20K, right? You collected 20K. What was that like for you? Was it like a matter of holy fuck, like finally, like this is real? Like I've actually now I know that what I can do with my skill set. Like what was going through your head then?
It was like surreal. Like I almost went and checked like the group and stuff to make sure it like happened. Almost, it was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, is this going to happen next week, or like was that the end of it, or like what happens now? That sort of way. It's like I need to make sure this happens again because I love that feeling. But it's just don't really know. Almost maybe a sense of relief as well. Like yes, you're proud. You've got pride in yourself. You're buzzing for yourself. You're like, right, this is actually working. What the fuck? It's this relief that you know that you've taken the right step now. You
Mm,
know that the future is just inevitable almost if you just keep doing what you're doing, putting in the reps. Same with the gym.
yeah. And when you say it's a relief, do you feel like it was a relief because you kept telling yourself that I know I can do this. I'm doing the training. I know I can get to a stage where I am in Marbella like you are now, where I am making, 2K a week, just like you did in your very first week in straight comms. So do you feel like it was a relief because you'd finally made it happen? And like maybe you were listening to that negativity from your mum, but now it was like finally I've done it. I know that this does work and I know that I actually can do something really well with this.
Yeah, yeah, 110%. That's that. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Like to be honest, not really more to say. You said it for me. It was pure relief from. Yeah, it was from the that sort of unknownness you have at the start of is it going to work? Is this going to work? Like I really want to make this work, and I am going to make it work. All these wee different emotions come in, and then that happens, and you're like, right, that's sweet. Like now I know what the fucking crack is.
Because the only reason I brought that up, lad, because it was the same for me. It was like I was um yes, I'm in Dubai now, right? But I was in my garage at home, right? I had my dad's toolbox behind me, and it's all this like rims of cars and just everything in my garage, right? I cleared a wee space. I had a desk, and I had a window, and I'd look out my window and just be like a field with sheep, and I'm taking all these calls after coming home from work, going gymming, showering, getting onto these calls. And I remember I closed my very first deal, and it was on an e-com offer, and it was 2K, and I'd made $200 in commission. Not a big pay, like, but I just remember being like, yes, yes, like I know now if I hone in on my skill set, I know if I do the work that this is actually real. Because I've had so much hardship in the past with make money online, and the opinion everybody has on it. Everyone has this opinion on it, and like they've never done anything online before. But it's like, no, that's a load of shit. Why would you do that? Go back to work. Like I was hearing this even from my dad and everything as well. So for me, it was a massive sign of relief. And from there, I was like, right, I quit my job, everything. I ain't going fully in. I know I can do something with this. But obviously now, lad, you're in Marbs, 20 years of age, 2K a week closing on this new role, right? Where do you want to be in 6 months' time?
Fucking hell, man. I want to have collected at least a million
Mm,
in cash collected, like minimum. And I want to. Another thing I'm doing is starting to post content online as well for myself and grow my
beautiful.
own personal brand and stuff as well. So I'm looking to grow that to the moon as well and get few thousand followers behind my back as well.
Beautiful, right? So now you're posting your own journey, you're getting on social media yourself, maybe to inspire other people that were in a similar situation to you.
Yeah, yeah, 1,000,000%. That's exactly, and that's another thing that Jared gave me a lot of confidence on more so than yourself. I know you're focused more on the coaching side of things for sales and whatnot. But yeah, it was personal branding, like just how to actually edit stuff as well. Like yes, you can shoot this video and stuff, all this crazy stuff. But I think that's another big thing when you have those like-minded people around you, you're in this bubble and stuff. You stop giving a fuck about what the fuck's going on and on site or in the bar or wherever you may be, or your mates and stuff. Because I know for myself, I remember even asking you when I first joined, do I have to post content and stuff? No, you were just like, nah. And I was like, thank fuck, lad, because
I was the exact same. I was the exact same. Look at me now, frig's sake. Frig's
it's
sake. I was the exact
mad.
same, lad. In my first close, I'm not doing no content on that hand, but then you realize like the opportunity you have with it. For me, lad, posting content, I've met some cool people, being able to inspire people like yourself, right? No, very, very soon, bro. Whenever you do hit your first five-figure month at 10K, like we'll be flying you straight out to Dubai in person. We'll do an in-person, testimonial like we are now. And one thing you touched on, you say jarred, right? Because obviously in Trinity, it isn't just sales coaching, right? You also it's self-development. It's there's sales coaching, self-development, and actually personal branding coaching as well. If you do want to build a personal brand. So what I'll do below is I'll put your ads, so your TikTok and your Instagram. So anybody watching this, you can go on, you can follow my boy Eamon, follow his journey, see him in Marbs, watch him the next 6 months close 1 mil, make himself 100K. But Eamon, I appreciate you jumping on with me, brother, and I appreciate the chat.
Yeah, yeah, all good, man.